Hello everybody, how are you doing? Mike here again, and welcome to Arsing Around. Today I have this with me. Does anybody recognise this? This is a Basher Pitbull. Exactly the same car basically as the Maverick Ion desert truck, the Himoto Barren and the Ripmax Coyote. You may have seen our previous video. Me and Matthew got one of these each. And if you have seen it, you know what we think of them. These are almost certainly the best value radio control car on the market, because this whole car, brushless powered, ready to run, with a 2.4 GHz system and a charger and a LiPo battery to sell, £28. It's remarkable. But if you did see that video, you'd also know that my one cost a little bit more than £28, because I don't know if you can see in there's nice shiny drive shafts and out drives, front and rear, nice aluminium ones, sort of, I don't know, smoky gold colour. The centre shaft in the middle, running down the middle, that's also upgraded. I did that so that both our cars, mine and Matthew's, could be distinguished from each other, but mostly just to annoy Matthew, because I knew that would wind him up. But at the same time, I ordered some shocks in the same colour. This colour. They didn't come. I ordered them months ago, and they only just arrived yesterday, because HPI Europe went into administration just a few months ago, and you know, as a result, Maverick spares have struggled, because obviously this is a Maverick part, and Maverick are under HPI. So yeah, today's video is just simply plugging these bad boys in. It's a toolless job to put shocks on this one. They just pop out. There's basically just I don't know what you call them. They just pop on and off, basically, ball joint thingies. But an issue. I've been struggling to get the handling of this car dialed in. It has no adjustability really. But it barrel rolls. It grip rolls on tarmac, this thing. And it's very twitchy off-road as well. Obviously to do the small size and very light, but you can adjust the endpoint on the transmitter to try and reduce that a little bit, but it's still a bit all over the place. I noticed that the damping is very poor. I mean, that feels almost like it's got no damping in it at all. The back end's a little bit better, but it's not fantastic. It still springs back far too violently. It's like the damping isn't sufficient with the springs, and these are actually no exception. They feel exactly the same. So they actually will perform exactly the same. They're the same design. I mean, they look smarter because they're a better colour and they have a all alloy body as opposed to a plastic body, but they're identical. But I want to try and get a better weight of oil in these. It isn't a heavy car, obviously. It's very light and it's very small, so it doesn't need very thick oil. But I'm thinking a 25 or 30 weight might be about right. That's very light for off-road and outdoor use, but as I said, the weight of the truck can't buy that. So let's just crack on, because I do not trust any of the damping in these. They feel tacky, they feel inconsistent, and yeah, if I'm going to be upgrading the parts, might as well make them as good as I can get. So let's crack on with that then. So what I've done here is simply wrap the shock in electrical tape, there and there, so I can get a clamp on without, you know, scratching the surface, damaging the shock, because that would be crap, wouldn't it? And once it's loose, finger tight, there we are. See if there is any shock oil in this thing. A little bit. Not very much though. I've actually decided to go for this TLR 45 weight shock oil, because the plungers inside these, although the shocks are very small, the plungers inside have actually got relatively big gaps, and see if you can, I probably can't see it, but they've got relatively big gaps and can let a reasonable bit of oil through, so go for the TLR 45. Okay, that's me done the first one with this TLR 45 weight oil. It's still very soft, but there is damping effect now. It's much smoother as well. You can compare that to this one, which is I've not touched yet. I don't know if you can hear that at the camera. It's very sort of tacky, sticky, and it just, look at that. There's no damping at all, it springs back. It's no good. This one is still very quick action, but there is progressiveness to it, so I think there will be a benefit in handling with all four done. Second shock, this one was almost empty, FYI. There is oil in it, but if it'll focus, you can see there's oil in it, but it's basically there, it looks like it's there just to lubricate it rather than to actually offer damping. This was genuinely just running on air, so no wonder there was no damping effect. I've not emptied anything out yet of this, so you know, nothing. Number 3, and I can already tell that this is the worst one so far. Look, that is dry. There's nothing in that. Let's have a look. Right, again, number 3. I've just taken it apart and I have not yet tried to get any oil out of it. Here we go. Nothing. So a tiny little blob of oil on the end. That's all there was. That's like, it's almost like the person who built them was like, lubricate it, that'll be enough. Incidentally, there was a guy that used to race, don't know if he still does, called Martin Wallace. He was the British champion 2003, 2004 era for Lossy. He ran air in his shock absorbers, just like this, but no one else could drive it. So I'm going to do it normally, thank you. And finally, number 4. Amazingly, this feels even worse than number 3. So definitely, whether you're buying the Pitbull, the Barren, the Coyote, or the Ion, and whether you're getting the upgraded shocks or running it on stock shocks, definitely check for oil in them, because that's just rubbish. As I thought, same again. Nothing in it. Just enough to lubricate it. Incidentally, I didn't even have to use the pliers or the grips to unscrew this. That was only finger tight, so it would have probably leaked anyway. Not very good, is it? So I'll give it a clean up and I'll fill this one up as well, and that's the 4th and final one done. Okay, shock's done. Now, as I said, this is a toolless job to get the shocks replaced in this. Dead easy. Body clips off. You don't even really need to take the body shell off, but easier to see, easier to get at things. Of course, I always struggle to get the damn body shell off. There we go. Right. See, they just pop off, top and bottom. You have to make sure you get them the right way around though, because there's a sort of marking on one side of this eye. I don't know if it'll focus. That isn't on the other side. Can you see it? So make sure it's the right way around. Looks like the marking goes to the truck. So the marking on the front goes towards that way, yeah, and on the back that way. So yeah, it always faces towards the truck. See? Dead easy. Now if I compare before I replace one, this is the one that was on it, the silver one, the gold one is going on it. Much better damping. Yep. I hope the combination of the 4 shocks being better damped will make a big difference over the 4 shocks that I'll be, I'm not saying they're all non-damped, but they're certainly going to be under-damped. But also, what's worse is that they're not all consistent. Some of them have more oil than the others, which would make it even worse than having all of them with no oil at all. This one's putting up a fight going back on though. Ugh. Might have to get a tool after all. Pair of pliers. See if I can get in there. Give it a squeeze. There we go, that'll do. Squeeze. There we go. Yep, Looks better with those gold ones on, definitely. Like, see the difference. Matches my drive shafts and such. These are upgrades for the Maverick Ion. These are not the listed upgrades for the Basher Pitbull. The Pitbull ones, the upgrades are sort of yellowy gold. I prefer this more sort of subtle bronzy colour. Well, maybe not bronze, more sort of smoky colour. Anyway, I'll crack on with all four, then we'll give it a test and see if it's any better at handling. Okay, that's it all done and looking really slick. I love the look of that gold. But more importantly, feels so much better. So much better. Much more compliant, much more progressive. Yeah, massively better. So this is definitely classed as an upgrade, but not because of the shocks themselves, just because of the oil. So yeah, the first thing you should do when you get one of these, definitely check / change the oil, because this is going to be a lot better to drive. Speaking of which, the little 1500 2-cell LiPo with the XT60 connector is charged. You know, the one that came with it. Did I mention it came with it? Came with it for £28. £28, that, yes, everything included, £28. So, bargain. These things, honestly, they sell out in a matter of hours. They come in stock, they sell out, and that's it. And you don't get them again for a few months. Keep the Basher Pitbull on Hobby King on your watch list, or your most requested, or whatever the hell they call it. Yeah, let's get this thing outside and have a shot. Right then, Steve, let's see what you've got. My driver guy's called Steve.